All right, so we'll start right away. Google Classroom 103, just to make sure, well, before, I am Cindy Acosta. I'm a 6th grade teacher at Nestor Language Academy. You can always reach out to me if any questions come up after the tech cafe. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me to cacosta@sbusd.org. Okay. I know sometimes questions come up after. So in this session, we will explore how to use rubrics on Google Classroom, how to provide feedback to students, and how students how students are able to see and keep track of their missing assignments. Okay, so those are the 3 things that we're gonna focus on today. So before I move on, and welcome to those that are just coming in. So what I like to do, I know sometimes we provide rubrics for the kids in order to see what are their expectations or how we're gonna grade them. So if you do, for example, we are doing social issues right now in my class, and we're doing like a Google Jamboard where they're explaining their work and everything. So this is how I'm grading them. And I share this document with them so they can follow along. But I also, what I like doing is adding it to the Google Classroom assignment. And I'll show how to do it right now. You can do it once you create an assignment by clicking here on adding a rubric. So let me show you how. So like social issues book clubs. And I look for the assignment. There we go, here it is. I insert it, I make sure each student has a copy. So right here, I have a rubric. I create a rubric. So if you're creating a rubric, right here on the title, you would write what you're grading. So in my case, I'm grading if they're able to identify the theme, right? So I would just copy and write it here on the theme. And now if you're grading on a 4 to 1 point, you just added 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm not doing 4, so I would just delete this level. So far, so if you want to describe a little bit more like, oh, you're able to identify the theme, you can explain it here. Now, in description, you can explain like, okay, what are the requirements for getting the 3? So you would just write it down here. And then for the 2, and then for the 1. Now, I only have theme, but I want to add another one. So if I want to add another one, I add a criterion to create another area that I'm assessing. So if I'm assessing also if they're able to identify the relationships with their characters, I would add it. And again, the points that you're using. So if I'm grading 3, 2 points, and then 1 point. And I'll show right now how you would use it as well for the grading. And students are able to see this rubric as well. And when you grade it, students are also able to see that as well. Like, okay, why did I get a 3? Why did I get a 2? And all of that. So now, once you do it, so for example, I'm not going to do the whole thing because of the time, but once you do it, you just save it. And this is going to it's going to update. Once you create the assignment, it's going to update. But if you want to already put like, oh, it's out of 6 points, you put the 6 points. And then the due date, like I'm mentioning, if you want to, recommend putting due date so they know when it's due, and it keeps appearing as an upcoming assignment. You can put when it's due. So once you create the rubric, and I had it in readers, oh, it was right here. This is the assignment. Once students do their work, complete the work, and you have your rubric there, how you can use it, you click on the student, and these are my colleagues, and it comes up here. And I like it because you already have it here instead of having to use paper. And I know that right now with virtual learning, sometimes you don't have able to print it. So you just click on theme and you're able to see the points, the score. And you, for example, the theme, if the student did it, let's say, for example, they got a 2, the student will be able to see like, okay, I got, and they were able to identify a relationship. So the student will see like, okay, I got a 5, but why did I get a 5? Why didn't I get the whole points? So you can always look at, he or she can always look at, okay, it's because I didn't include evidence. I only included a theme as a statement, but I did not provide textual evidence. So that's how it can work as well. Okay. So this is how the rubrics are created, and each student has their rubric. So right away I can see, and I really, really like it. So again, like if I'm grading now Margarita, and I notice that, okay, in the theme, she only included a topic, but in the relationship, she identified the relationship and a trait for each student. So I gave her a 2. And students are able to see it. So it's good. They can self-evaluate as well once you grade them. Now, another way, so now that we're talking about rubrics, another way that to provide feedback for the students is by using the private comments. So in each single assignment, there are comments, like in the instructions, there's a class comments, but these comments, every student can see them. If you want to provide personalized feedback specifically to the student, you need to go to student work and click on the student assignment, like I did over here. And in private comments, you can add more comments for the student based on how they did, or if you want to provide more feedback or have like a converse, like I like how you noticed 2 themes and provided awesome evidence. I don't know. So, and you just click post. So if you want to do it more personalized. And another way you could do it with Google Jamboard, you have to open it to see the whole thing. But another way you can do to provide feedback for the students here on Google Classroom is if it's a Google Doc, if it's a Google slide, you can provide feedback right on the document. So if you provide feedback right on the document, so let's see, for example, the social issues journal. Oh, they don't have a copy. Let me see. Okay. So if you're grading this assignment, you can click on the student again. And as they're working, if you want to give them progress, I like private comments because it gives them alerts in their Google Mail, and some of them are right on top of their things. So that's a way of doing it. But also if you want to be more specific, like, okay, like in here, they're supposed to say their argument, and she's missing her 3 reasons. I can add a comment right away on the document as well by clicking on the add a comment. But it also works here in Google Classroom. So you don't have to open the whole file. You can just click here and add a comment like, oh, please don't forget to add 3 reasons. That's another way to provide feedback for the students. And once they keep working on it, they can see it right there and be like, okay. Any questions about the rubric or providing feedback through the document or private comments before I move on how students can view their missing assignments?
Hi, Cindy. Yeah,
Hi.
one question.
Yes.
When you clicked on to add the rubric, I saw there was an option to reuse a rubric. Where, when you create one, where do they get saved, or where can you access them? Access them.
Excellent question. And I hadn't noticed that that was there before, so we can check right now. The next part that we're gonna do is the view missing assignments, so check right now. Let's say journal, and I create just the Google Docs. There we go. It appears, there we go. It appears the ones you've used. So for example, if you're assessing, you're assessing as well. Yeah. So if I'm assessing as well against something related, if you wanted like a pre and a post assessment, there we go. You could use it again. So there it is. So you could also reuse and edit it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So now the last thing, and I think if you were in 102 and in 101, you probably heard this, but I know that also sometimes students, they might turn in blank assignments. So, or they might not be on track of their missing assignments. So I like to tell students and parents of this way of doing it because of checking their missing assignments and their returned work so they can keep track of that. So this is a student view, and I like to remind students that they can always do this. So, and parents as well when they're with their child. They click on classwork, and this is student view. This is how students can see their missing returned assignments. So classwork, and then they can click on view your work. And when they click view your work, they're gonna see all of their assignments. And once they have all of their assignments here, they also have assigned assignments, the returned assignments, and the missing assignments. So the missing assignments are the ones that they haven't completed. So if you're setting a due date for the assignments, they're able to see, and they're not turning it in, they're able to see that it's missing. However, if the students are doing it and they're not clicking and they forget to click turn in, it might still appear as missing. But if you click return, it's not going to appear here. If you are giving them a grade and click in return, it's not going to appear here. However, I know sometimes students click on blank assignments, and that's what I like to share this with parents and teachers as well. I only give zeros to students if they're turning it in blank. So that's why I like to immediately click return. So if you click, I click 0 and I put return. And they can see here like, oh, why am I getting a 0? Or even the parents like, oh, why did my student get a 0? They can see it right here because they're not turning it in. And they can click on the assignment. And they can see their grades as well. Like, oh, why did I miss 1 point? Or what am I missing these points? They can go back and see right there in the returned and see their feedback as well. Because sometimes if this little bubble comes up, speech bubble, it means that you left a comment for them there. So, and I think we did more than well in time. So if you have any questions or you want me to go over something, I know we had more people come in a little bit later. So if you want me to go over something, let me know. Oh, I didn't change the font. Yes, exactly. I changed the font here for privacy because I used one of my students because student view, and I changed the name, but it's just here from Google Slides. And yes, another way You can also, once you give them a 0, you can also put in comments, no work completed, like so they can know that why aren't they receiving the work. Now, excellent question, Holly. Can teachers view the work of the student? Yes, yes. So if you go to classwork and you go to people, you can go to people or you can go to grades. But if you go to people, like if I want to show a parent, like, okay, you know what, or Lisette is doing excellent in all of her work, or these are some of the assignments that she's missing, you want to send a screenshot, you can click on Lisette, the student. She's my colleague. So here, all the assignments assigned are gonna, it's the same view, but just for teachers. And you see all the assignments assigned, the ones she turned in, the ones you returned, that means you gave her or him a grade. So you're able to see all of their grades here. And then missing assignments. You're able to see missing assignments. So again, in people, Lisette Melendez, and then here you would find their missing assignments, returned assignments, and all of it. And if there are no more questions, just make sure you fill out the Google form, or Megan, for the feedback for all the sessions that you